Hey guys, there's a lot of things to go over in this video because there's a lot of notes. So we're just going to get through it. I'm going to go over the small stuff first and then we'll jump into the big stuff. So we have this event that it's a daily check-in. You get 10 pulls every day. So you have 10, 20, 30, 40. You skip a day, you get an SSR weapon. It's probably only going to be Black Flame. You have 20 on the 7th week and 7th day and then the 14th day. And then you have these new potions. So these ones you can craft now, but they're giving some for free. And it's called the Brilliant Potion of Charm. And then you get the Magic Infused Enhanced Metal. So that's going to help you with the Engrave set. So this is, again, just log in, you'll get 100 pulls. And then this is going to be, if you do Act 2 and Act 11, then you get King in the End for free. And then once you get to Act 13 and you clear it, it says draw will be unlocked upon clearing. Now, it's not clear exactly if this is going to be shared pity between the two banners, but I'll go over that in a second. So if I come down here, complete Act 2, complete Act 11, Act 13, and Escanor's draw is going to be available again. Any pity that you had, including the 80 and 120 before, actually, it's just the 120. So it doesn't say here that 80 is going to reset. So here it's the same thing. If you get an SSR with an 80 pulls, it's going to be a 50% chance that it's Escanor, and then at 120 you'll guarantee him, or 160 is also going to be the guarantee. So the way you would get Escanor potentially for free, if I go into my game here, is the same way it's right now. So Elizabeth and Escanor are going to be running alongside each other. So if I show you this number right here, you see how this is 11? This number is shared. So what you want to do is, if you're not chasing potentials for Elizabeth and you don't have Escanor, then I would recommend get one of him. Because again, he's still a very good fire character with Merlin. So you would go in here. I'll do one just to show you. So you'll see this number goes up and this number goes up. And then the number up here is also going to go up. So let's just do it. Imagine that would be crazy if I got an SSR. Okay, so escape. Okay, I do have to. All right, so here 12 goes up and 12 goes up. But if this was 120 over here, you would notice it does not go up. So what you want to do is you want to build this pity up to 120, and that's how you would guarantee both units. You do need at least 120 pulls. If you have a guaranteed SSR here, it's going to be much more likely that you can get Escanor. So if you haven't gotten him and you want him, this is how you would do it. You would do, let's say, 70 pulls here, 75 pulls. Don't get too close. I don't remember if there's a soft pity. Like, I feel like the game has soft pity, so I wouldn't risk it. Once you get to like 70, 75, around 70, go over to this banner, do the 10 pull, trigger this SSR, and then once you come back here, you just have to do 50 more pulls to finish up Daisy's pity up here, or Elizabeth's, or Escanor's, whichever one you choose to do it on. But I would recommend get Elizabeth first, Escanor after, or on the side, get Escanor. So you would be summoning, let's say if this was Elizabeth's banner, I would be summoning here, I could do 10 pulls, and then I would go here and do the 10 pull just to trigger the pity, and then go back and pick up Elizabeth from the 120. So that's essentially how you would get Escanor potential for free. You do have to get a little bit lucky, because if you don't have this triggered on the rate up character, then you have to do the 50-50. But, you know, it's better than nothing. You have to spend 40 more pulls to potentially get a one limited character. And then let's take a look at the skins, and then we'll go over to Elizabeth Kit and the update details. So here we have the same thing, Elizabeth's banner, 80 pulls. So again, you want to trigger this 120 on Elizabeth and then the 80 on a different banner. All the rules are the same. You have the trial event that gives you one summon right here, 300 star fragments. And then this is her skin. Her skin for the weapon and the, well, the outfit's pretty basic. I was going to say that her skin looks pretty cool. And maybe you could put it on different units. Maybe, because, no, it says exclusive. I can't read. But yeah, so this is a weapon. I would recommend just don't summon on these, because now they're adding skins to weapons in the game. Like through the raid, you can get a Grimoire skin. So like, why bother with this? It's $60 for nothing. And then her swimsuit is basically better than whatever's going on here. So yeah, I would recommend skip this skin banner. We have this one with Clotho and Merlin's skins. So this is going to be the same banner. Merlin's is the top tier, so you would get Clotho's first, which is fine, I guess. But if you got her engraved, I would recommend don't get this again. Unless you have money to spend, go ahead and get them. But yeah, I don't think it's justifiable to pay $60 for these skins. And the rewards and the banners are also pretty trash now, so let's take a look at the Hog Pass. I'm guessing that we're not going to see any changes like to this box right here, but also they're not buffing the rewards this season. From what it looks like, it doesn't say here that they're buffing it. So we're going to have to wait till the next one to go ahead and get the Hog Pass. I would still recommend get it. There's some keys in there, some pulls in there. It's not a terrible value. And then you get some star fragments here as well with 1200. So again, just get, I mean, if you have the money for it, $10 or $8, whatever it is, get the Hog Pass. And then hopefully the next one, we're going to have different weapons in here as well, because we're going to get the new weapon series with the Malachite. So yeah. And then there's this expedition event. I'll go over the expedition in a little bit. We have various missions and stuff that you can stock up on. You have star fragments, radiant potion of charms as well. So if you have pet potions right now, I would recommend save them for later, and then you can go ahead and use them like during this right here, craft high purity, or even if for the materials. So I do have the materials. I can craft high purity potions. Actually, no, you have to craft all of them. It's pretty crazy because I could craft, I think, 700 of these. These are the purple ones currently. So here it says, let's see what it says. You would have to do Act 1 to make sure you do it. And if you haven't been collecting flowers for the pets that I've been telling you guys for like weeks, this was something that was going to come to the game at some point. So that's on you. But let's see what we have here. Okay, this tells you how the pet expedition feature works. I think I have a clip somewhere. I'll show you. Alright, unfortunately I don't have the clip right now, but how it works is, as you can see, each of these materials have their own rarity. So platinum is purple, and these ores are purple, the flowers are purple. So you send these out, or you select it, and then as you're selecting it, you have to select the right rarity of pets. So you see how gold is blue, you have to select the blue pets, and you have to select 2 of them for each row, and then you can send them out, and it will collect it right away. So you don't even have to wait, which is great. Insane. W, major W. So that's just what it says, what I said, how it works very easily. Completing challenge missions will give you 700 plus 400, so 1100 star fragments, and then the radiant potion of charm, which is again the highest tier 1. So just make sure you're doing this, you're crafting your potions, doing the expedition. I think that might be in the Explore tab. And then as you do it, it'll give you the star fragments right here. And then this is the event story that we have. So it will have a like story you'll follow, like Hauser's Valentine event, where you went from day 1 to day 5. And it's kind of like a boat race thing also as well. You have to do boat races, which I haven't really done. And there's a new boss. I'll show you what the boss looks like. And then as you do them, you get 1690 star fragments, some golden void tick. This is the event currency that you trade in the shop. And then you have the title that you can get. Oh, that's pretty cute. And then outfit skin is for Manny, and that's free. I don't really care for Manny skin because you get the engraved set. That already looks pretty good. And then these are all the items you can get in the shop down here. So let's take a look. The SSR crystals for the weapons, a 10-pole master tailor stitching needle, some scissors, some needles, some remnants. I'll take the remnants, I guess, some platinum. So yeah, you get 1 brilliant engraving seal, but that's really it. You also get 3 million gold, so I'll take that. This is for crafting. I don't even know because I don't catch pets, so whatever that is. But yeah, has story, has boss. You have to do this boss daily because it will give you the rewards again for the shop that you have to exchange. So overall, excited to see what the story is. All right, so we'll go through the update details, and then I'll just take a look at Elizabeth's kit, and then we'll end it off with showing stuff from the live stream. But once I'm going through this, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments section. I'm curious to see what you think of the update. I think overall it's a very positive update. Very good changes. Just one thing I'd like to see. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, let's get started. So it's going to be June 25th to July 15th. It's going to be the update. We have SSR Elizabeth. You have the event I went over. Oh, this is her exclusive skin banner. This is her trial. This is the celebration I told you about. 100 regular draw tickets. This is the Freed King and Free Deanne, and then the Escanor banner we run. This is Elizabeth's quest again for the event. This is the expedition mission I told you, and the pet potions that you have to craft. Now this one is kind of like a PvP thing that they went over. So you would eliminate players, and that gives you points, I think, and you get magic pop tokens that you can exchange in the exchange shop. And then this is also a cube key event, so just make sure you're holding onto some keys right now, and make sure you use these when the keys are usable with the event. And then the ranking season, so they're actually opening the first season of leaderboards. So I'm not going to go too much into this. You can take a pause real quick and look at it, but basically they think it's enough. And there's this new item, Laurel of Glory. You can trade that into to also get some pets and stuff. So right here it says various rewards including star fragments, emotes, and pets can be earned by completing the achievements. So this is not related to your position on the leaderboard. That's something else that also has its own rewards, but these you can get from participating and playing the leaderboards. You would have to clear time space junction sector 7 and 8. You have Hog Pass season 3 that I said is not really changing much, And then now, this is where the hard part comes in for the raid. So we already have Abyss, but on top of the Abyss difficulty, you can add a pledge feature where you can add conditions. I think they might show it in the live stream a little bit, but you can add additional features or challenges and then use that to get more rewards, especially the Mystic Keys. Well, not the Mystic Keys. Mystic Keys is your stamina for the raid, but the tokens. What's it called? Mystic tokens. Yeah, you get the Mystic tokens, more of them. And then the range of the gear goes up to 160, which I'll show you. And then pledge pop-up will appear. I'm assuming if you're doing this in co-op, which I would recommend, because it's going to be faster, right? You're taking off all the tag gauges as well. But this is going to pop up for the leader, I guess, and then you can do it. Pledge rewards cannot be claimed without a Mystic Key, so you have to, actually have stamina to do it. Pet Expedition feature. New Pet Expedition, again, told you how it works. You just send out the same items, rarities, pets. So it has to be the same rarity, and then it will go collect it right away. Whole difficulty to raid. So this is good news for free-to-play players. You just have to do how, I promise you, once you do how a couple times, you get used to the bosses and get some rewards and stuff. I think you can do it this difficulty. I believe in you guys. And then you have 1,000 star fragments per week. That's not changing. New craftable potions, you have the Brilliant, so this is between the epic potions currently and the legendary potions. You're going to have this one. The Wisp Lantern, I think is a pet or something. Transcendence Essence, you can craft now. Wonder what the crafting recipe is for that. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. And then you have a new gear set. They didn't say what this does. And then this is Elizabeth's custom weapon. So we're moving away from just the Gluttonous Soul weapons. Now it's called Shadow Rupture Grimoire, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll have a different substat as well. Maybe defense percent or defense. I don't know. We'll see. An honor tab has been added in the achievements menu. And here you have 15 leaderboard related achievements. You have 8 achievements to pets, 4 title related to event story, pet expedition. Okay. A new throwing item, and that's the pet. So boss and content system or constant system improvements. We have boss challenges, party matchmaking feature. So now when you're doing bosses, you can do matchmaking to find players. Improve. This one is if you miss for some reason, it's not going to count the pet potion as used. So this is also good news. Paid product improvements, Hawk Pass, and premium. I don't know what this is. How they said this is going to be a paid product improvement, but now you can see the detailed information about each system. So like I said, I don't know if there's a soft pity. There could be. And then there's adding a new thing where you get Ashes Supply Card. This is paid, by the way, so you would have to pay for it. You get 1,250 star fragments at the start. I'm assuming this is going to be like $10. And you also probably get like star fragments or other resources. So let's see here, main quest bugs, just quest related stuff. And then raid, you have the changes with the greedy ruler. So now it's going to be in the exchange shop. If you have extra points, or tokens, might as well use that to get the greedy ruler and keep re-rolling it. I don't know if you can get 160 from that though. Might be locked to 130, and then you would have to do the pledge to get the 160. And then some issues with bosses, charge in place during combat. That's an issue. Black King and Black Queen, they're also fixing some stuff. So we'll see how it feels. Dungeon and boss challenges. Emergency escape was incorrectly set. Oh, this is the exploit for the leaderboards. And then damage could be taken from Gallant despite not being hit. Yeah, this was really stupid, dude. Like, you could be not doing something random and he's gonna hit you, even though he should, like, never. But fixed various features in game that would not work properly. You have cube keys after defeating boss under certain conditions. Yeah, sometimes they'll just kick you out of the stage even if you do the recharge keys. Default sorting. There's gonna be hero info and then armor. Okay, some changes to like UI and stuff. Other quests, changes to that. Array of Hope. Oh, what? Alright, comment Array of Hope if you're watching this far. But anyway, let's see. System and map field, added platinum and malachite, sealed sanctuary region. What is that? Alright, I don't know where this honestly is, because I kind of forget. But it fixed an issue where hidden quests were categorized as side quests in the map. Again, some more UI stuff. I don't really care, to be honest. We'll see. This is where the escanor buffs come in. You think that this might be a nerf, but I'll tell you. And then he gets changes for the greatsword. Nothing for the sword and shield, unfortunately, but you have the new greedy ruler pieces with the 160, so that might be enough. And then you have the grimoire for Merlin. So let's take a look at this. Here, your sunspot stacks go down from 12 to 10. And if we take a look at what sunspot does exactly, because I don't remember, let's go to weapon. Increases fire damage by 3% at max HP by 1.5%. So you're missing 6% fire damage and 3% max HP, okay? Because they're taking it down from 12 to 10. And so that's 6, 3. So it's not really much of a nerf, because once you get like to the really high numbers in terms of any sort of stats. So like that includes fire damage or any kind of elemental damage like here. And you have the flare that gives you a lot more damage as well. You're sacrificing that to trigger flare faster. Because remember, you build up Sunspot so you can trigger flare faster. So this is going to let you trigger flare faster and more easily. And then what flare does now is increases your max HP up to 35% from 25%. So HP is going to be more important now as well. And maybe consider using the, well, I don't know, but you could consider using 3-piece squidgy rulers. So the earring, 160, the pants, and the belts 160, and then the rest are life crystal. You could try that for fun to see how much HP you can get. Maybe I'll do that. And then gains fading sun, so that's unchanged. And then for the ultimate move, it goes from 50 to 350% to 1. And so they're making this thing an absolute nuke. So you do want some pierce as well, so life crystal would help because you get, plus 100, and then here you get some additional 20. And then for the holy, you have increases allied DOT by 150%. So it's fine, I guess. That's not really the issue with escanor. They should have just replaced the burn with the radiance. Radiance is the great sword, or not great sword, holy damage over time. If they did that, he would be the unit for holy, but he would have like cooked king, right? So I don't know why they didn't do that. So anyway, the damage interval increase for 50% goes up to 15%. So DOT efficiency, not DOT efficiency, debuff duration efficiency is also going to be pretty good. But I don't know what they want you to do. Like, oh wait, it's Hendrickson. I think I know what this is for. Hendrickson is weak to holy and fire, so you can actually use Greatsword Escanor, so that's probably why. And then now instead of damage increases by 3% for every one defense reduction stack, I think that's 100, right? Which is pretty weird. You get 300? Yeah, 300%. So instead of 200% defense damage increase from your ultimate, you get 300% damage increase for your ultimate. Now this is for Merlin, so she gets crit damage from her ultimate move. Now even if you're doing a combined ultimate, it wouldn't trigger before because this would only be for a solo unit, but also a Daisy, which is kind of bugged. But now even if you do it with the combined ultimate, get some buff duration efficiency as well for this, because this counts as a buff. And then ultimate move at potential 10, which probably like barely anybody watching even has, increases crit damage boost from the ultimate move damage and combined attacks. So there are some stuff that are related to character moves that they fixed. Reaction result of using Escanor's ultimate move would differ depending on whether or not combined ultimate was available. Graphics and UI issues fixed. Description of taunt is changed. Have ultimate move Frost Rune. Cloth of Grimoire differs from the actual effect. Solar Impact at potential 10 did not display properly. Mobile platform issues, so mobile environment and issues there. They try to fix that. Players were able to move when using the Elemental Harmony skill, which you shouldn't be able to do on your character. UI is not displayed in Terranist. Some other random stuff. Bundles, you already know how I feel about bundles. This could be considered worth buying depending on what's actually in here. So we saw the 1200 star memory, which is the paid currency, and then we'll have to see what this gives you. I'm assuming this will give you like 300 maybe. Star fragments a day, maybe. We'll have to see, maybe 250. 300 is a little bit much. I don't think they're that generous, even to paying players. So, 100-day celebration, you have the 7 limited time bundles. How much you want to bet these are all like, okay, maybe not this one. This one might be pretty good. But these ones are, oh, what is that? Special weapon class? Okay, we gotta see the price for this, but this might be pretty good. And then this might be pretty good. But yeah, don't buy the growth bundles. Those are trash. Limited Burno bundle, Journey Begins bundle 2. Don't know what this is. We'll have to see. And then added new pets to the shop. So if you do buy stuff in the game, there's a new pet in the shop. Elizabeth's potential point and Manny's potential point are going to be in this shop as well. And then changes to existing bundle purchase. All right, that's whatever. Yeah, like don't buy this kind of stuff. If you're on PlayStation, you get some rewards. If you do have PlayStation Plus, make sure you check that. All right, now let's take a look at Elizabeth's skills. We have Grimoire on Holy, Staff on Earth, Wind, and then Wand on Earth. That's a lot of like different, well, it's 3 elements, obviously. It's not a lot, but very varied, I would say. You have Elizabeth pick up Radiant Summer Memories. All right, so this is just her stuff. Okay, this is where it is. Her passive is just going to heal you when you're out of combat, but even when you're in combat, if your HP drops below 10%, now I don't know if this is like going straight to 0, if that counts, because it is dropping below 10%. Like if Tyrannus is about to one-shot you, do you do it? Do you get that healing? Because if you do, that's pretty big. That's really big, actually. Like this is basically a revive and a second chance, because if you have healing efficiency on this, that'll still heal you more, right? So Let's take a look at the Holy. Holy is actually really good. So you apply splashing around through your special attack, and then that decreases the defense on the enemy by 20%. And when you have that, your damage taken by also gets downed by 15%, so you take less damage. Weakness damage gets increased by 10% for 20 seconds. Weakness damage just means, let's say this is a wind stage and the boss is weak to wind, then you're going to be doing 10% more damage for the wind. I mean, it's not literally 10%, because again, not everything you see with the percentages are the same thing, but you're just going to be doing more damage for that specific element, regardless of what what you're running. So it depends on the boss, what they take damage on. And then when you land an enemy or attack on an enemy, you get 2% defense up to 20. What is that? 40% defense? This could be really good with Sword and Shield Escanor, man. Holy, 40% defense with the 160. That is a lot of buffs. Yeah, Escanor is, if you can get Elizabeth and Escanor, oh my goodness, this is going to be nasty. And then for the normal skill is basically her healing. You get max HP plus defense. If you're lower than 30%, so you kind of want to wait to heal. Depends on how much the cooldown is for this, but if the cooldown is pretty low, then just use it. But if it's like a pretty long cooldown, you want to wait till you're low HP and then heal up. So let's look at this, 4.5% versus 80%. You know, that's a lot. And then you go from 0.4% to 10%. And then ultimate move damage is going to put down like a radius. I'll show you some of her skills. They show it on the live stream. Heroes in range. This is also pretty big because before you couldn't really use Grimoire with Sword and Shield Escanor because you would still get knocked, but this gives you reaction immunity. So, well, it's only for 11 seconds. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out, but it's also a pretty big heal. Now, the potentials on Elizabeth are pretty insane, especially like her 6 and 7. If you're going to go for either 4 or go for 7, there's like in between is just very awkward. Even if you have to buy one from tier 6 to tier 7, I would recommend go ahead and buy one. But these ones are basic, doesn't matter. Every time you use the attack skill, increases the damage taken of enemies by 10% for every 1 second for 20 seconds. So you just perpetually do 10% more damage. So using the attack skill increases the magic charging efficiency all allied heroes. So this is good for if you're using Clotho as well, because she's holy. So you would be using this on the Merlin team with attack skill damage again. Clotho gives you pretty good magic charging, so this could be good for her. And then potential 6, the damage reduction, you get additional 10%, so 25% damage reduction, again, good against Tyrannus. And then you have increases all allied heroes pierced by 50, and this is just like added on. This isn't, you don't even have to do anything. So you just get potential 6, you use her, you get 50 more pierce, you get crit chance. So she's looking up to be a very good unit, especially on Holy. And then slightly increases ultimate move range, increases the duration, so you're from 11 seconds to 21 seconds, increases all elemental attack of allies in range by 30%. So yeah, now this one, tier 9 and 10, tier 10 is insanely busted. You get 10% of your defense converted into attack. And you know how, well, with how she is here, it's pretty easy to stack up defense. So we'll have to see how much defense you can really get. If it's like 50,000, you still get 5,000 more raw attack on the units. So we'll have to see. And well, I doubt it would go into the character's base attack at all, but this might just be added onto whatever you have. So if you have like 27,000 attack, you don't really have that many attack buffs in the game, so this would just stack on 10% of the defense, so 5,000 of like 5,000 was like 50,000 defense, and then that would be 32,000 attack. So that might be how it works, but we'll see. Skill details for the wind. We have increases allied pierce, so this is for Clotho again. When you attack an enemy that has weathering, normal attack damage increases by 60%, so clearly for Clotho. We have for 15 seconds decreases its own magic consumption when you use an allied wind hero's ultimate. And for 40 seconds, normal attack crit damage of allies increases by 50%. So she is built to give Clotho like everything, dude. And then increases wind attack for allied heroes by 30% of the hero's attack for 40 seconds, so max 33,000. So technically you just need 9,000 attack, which is pretty low. And then when you do your normal skill, that's when you apply weathering for 30 seconds. Some debuff duration efficiency, you'll get this longer. But there's no cooldown on how fast you apply this, so you apply 30% defense down when you're using Clotho's ultimate. So just go ahead and use it when the enemy has weathering, and you're just going to delete the enemy. Ultimate move, you have 20% of attack on enemies. You apply a rupture. Rupture is from Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. So pretty interesting. Increases wind damage equal to 10% of Elizabeth's attack. This is also pretty interesting because when it says a character's attack, this considers not all, but like a lot of their other stats. So like crit damage, elemental damage increase, elemental attack. So this is pretty interesting. This could get pretty big. Decreases crit defense by 40%. So yeah, one hint. So you want to use your normal skill, you want to use your ultimate, and then you want to have debuff duration efficiency, keep this going as long as you can, and then you want to rip your ultimate with Clotho. And then looking at the potential, special attack duration increases by 10 seconds. So it goes from 15 seconds to 25 seconds. Magic consumption reduction. Another turn. Yeah, so when you're using your ultimate, it's not eating your magic gauge or those magic orbs as much. It's just pretty interesting. So you like have more magic orbs left over to do like Clotho ultimate. Or even Daisy's ultimate, that would be pretty interesting. Normal attack crit damage boost from the special attack increases by 20%. So again, for Clotho, crit chance increases by 25%. Again, for Clotho, normal skill. If you have Clotho built, you gotta get Elizabeth to like at least potential 6, maybe 7, but number of crit defense increases from Rupture increased by 25, and hit interval decreases by 0.5 seconds. So this damage right here, it does the damage every 0.5 seconds, 20% of attack. Again, this is going to do her independent calculations with crit damage, holy attack, holy damage, or wind, sorry, this is on wind. And you go from 50 to 75. 75 times 0.8 is going to be like 60% or something around there, I don't know. And then tier 9 amplifies the power of Rupture by 100%. I think this just means this damage that you do, not this, because that would be insane, but like instead of 20% of attack, you do 40% of attack. I think that's what it means. And then Defense Shatter on potential 9 again on all allied heroes. So this is also where they're focusing on Defense Shatter. So tier 10 is pretty good too. Increases wind attack by 3000, normal attack crit damage, and from the special it increases by 30%. So a lot more crit damage for Clotho. Wind isn't that important to go really high up. Potential 7 is probably good enough, even potential 6. But Earth is probably going to be the most free-to-play one because she's just bursting melee. But she's going to give you base, at base, Earth allied damage by 50% increase on normal skill, and then your crit damage increase based off of the hero's crit damage. So as long as you have 100% crit damage, you'll get 50% allied Earth heroes damage increase. So that's pretty good. Increases burst efficiency by 40% equal to crit damage again. So this, you want to have as much crit damage as you want, can get. Increases all allies crit chance by 20% and pierce by 10%. So whenever you do a burst, resets all allied heroes' normal skill cooldown. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So I think Elaine's shield might be a normal skill. Don't remember, but let's take a look. Yeah, normal skill is her barrier, 35 seconds. It's pretty big, so when you're doing the burst, sometimes if you get like, unlucky, like you might do this on a non-bursted or but the burst is about to go out, so this could reset. And then if you're using Daisy, well, this one's not that bad. So again, I think Earth team is complete with her, so you would use Elaine, Deanne, any of these are fine, but like if Daisy's your DPS, maybe focus on that, because at potential 7, I'm pretty sure she can beat out my Deanne, who's going to be at potential 8. Potential 8's pretty big though, I don't know. We'll have to see. But we'll have to see how this really affects you or impacts you. And then tier 4 doesn't do much, generates 5 rock fragments. There's something here that creates rock fragments, but it doesn't say here. But they show it off. Yeah, this is just comes with the potential. Enemies that come into contact take damage equal to 40% of attack and increase burst gauge by 150. So again, most free-to-play friendly is going to be Earth Elizabeth. You don't really need this. And then if you get potential 10, then Earth allies crit damage increase by 100%. That is pretty big, especially with Daisy, because you do your ultimate that does a lot of hits. So yeah, potential 10 is pretty nasty. So that's Elizabeth's kit. Let's take a look at some of the stuff from the live stream so I can actually show you what it looks like. I have to give shout out to the cosplayer that they got on here. Huge. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, come on. We're looking here, but she's also like pretty. I don't know what the comments were about the comments. I saw some pretty people like that she's pretty, but then people were like, yeah, they were my ops. It's like too much plastic or whatever, not their taste. I'm like, all right, man, we get it. But I think she's really pretty and hot. But let me see the actual thing. So here they show off the trailer at 25 minutes. So let's take a look. I haven't actually even seen this. I was at work, so I didn't see the live stream. Clotho looks pretty good, but I think even her last skin was better than this. And then one of her engraved skins are actually really good. So yeah, I don't really like Manny. She's whatever. And then Merlin. And here comes Elizabeth. Elizabeth does look really good, I will say. Like her character design didn't botch it up or anything. And then again, the cosplayer did pretty well in terms of showing her off on the character design. So yeah, I mean, this is a new boss, new event. Now, if we take a look at here, all elemental resistance decreases if an allied hero attacks an enemy affected by splashing around, which is from her special attack. It decreases the defense. Each time the hero gains HOT, not sure what that is. All allied heroes crit damage increases, so you get more crit damage from here. they recommend this for the Ice Merlin setup, like I was saying, for the tactical team. It deals high damage when using a tactical to deal holy damage, using the special weapon to make debuffs for high damage on enemies. Recovery also increases depending on the defense and buffs. Okay, interesting. We have to see what kind of weapon this is. But yeah, Elizabeth's design is really good though, honestly, can't lie. And then here they actually go off and play the character a little bit. Let's go forward. So these are her animations. You hold down Q, I guess, and that does like, no, that's not holding Q. That's just her basic attack. All right, let's take a look at what the Q does. Okay, you hold it down. Yeah, that's pretty cute. And then let's see them do the E any day now. Okay, that's kind of underwhelming, but that's fine. Let's see if they do the ultimate. All right, here it is. All right, that was also kind of underwhelming, but you know, those are the animations. And then this is an engraved set for wind, I believe. It increases the allies' crit damage with wind attacks dealt to enemies with weathering. So like I said, you want to have weathering all the time, obviously. When switching to an wind element hero using the attack skill, crit chance and buff duration efficiency increases. So like I said, you want to do her skills, go to Clotho, or like apply debuffs and buffs with Daisy, whatever you want to do. And then go to Clotho and just absolutely rip the enemy apart. I would say go from Elizabeth to to Daisy, put her ultimate down, and then go to Clotho. You'll see the health bar disappear. I'm not even joking, like literally disappear within like a couple seconds, even if you have like potential 4 or 5 Clotho. So Elizabeth is looking up to be really, really good. So, and then they play her here a little bit. So they're using the Black Flame, which I guess is fine, right? It doesn't even matter. But all right, that's their ultimate. Also, by the way, if you're interested in a weapon guide, or tell you guys how to build weapons and what to chase for, let me know in the comments. Just write weapon guide and I'll make that video, kind of like a deep dive. But yeah, just let me know. So let's take a look at this. It's actually pretty insane how fast her burst is. I think they do one skill and it just goes from like 0 to 100. I don't know if it's that one or if it's E. Let's see, they do Q. No, it's not Q, it's E. So when you do E, like the burst just goes up. Pretty insane. And then let's see them do the ultimate. Yeah, that's when these hit you from potential 5. That's when it does the burst. Do the ultimate, so we can go ahead and see. All right, here's the ultimate. All right, that one looks a lot better. And then she's probably going to have combined ultimates as well, so we'll have to see what those are. And then these are the skins. Like I said, Elizabeth's is her costume banner. This is another costume banner. You can get both of them, and then Manny's is free. Again, I would rather use the engraved set for the longsword. And then this is for the 100-day celebration. They got Elizabeth's voice actor to, just congratulate us for the 100 days. And looks pretty good. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not playing it, but because like they have some weird thing going on with copyright. Sometimes they'll copyright you, so I don't feel like dealing with that. They have another part with like the event and stuff where it's Hauser and Clotho. Again, I'm not really that interested. I'll rather watch that in the game itself. And then this is what the skins look like in game. So this is Clotho. She looks pretty good. I think overall she's a pretty good design. Pretty disappointed with Manny's. I don't really care. And then this is Elizabeth. She looks pretty good. And then this is Merlin. I think they buffed her butt a little bit because in the previous like stuff it was like so flat it was not even funny, but here they show off this area where there's a bunch of more ores that you can go get, so make sure you farm this every day. I don't know if your pet expedition is going to do it, so you might have to do it yourself. And this is what the new boss looks like. It's the same boss with a couple new moves, I think, or maybe it's the same exact boss, but it looks different, I guess. So yeah, you'll have to fight him every day to get some rewards. And then these are all the rewards you can get during the update. You have the 100-day celebration check-in. You get the 2 SSR heroes for free. You have trial event. You have the PvP. You want more of these than the star fragments, honestly. But you have the event missions or the quest. And then you have the cube key using event. And then this is from the pet expedition event. So, all right. So I was a little bit wrong with Hendrickson. I thought he was holy in fire, but the Sector 7 is fire. And then Sector 8 is holy. So probably just use Sword and Shield Escanor for that. But here it tells us what the new set effect does. Chance to inflict additional damage if a hero is a support unit when attacking the enemy with attack skill. So maybe that's for Elizabeth. We'll have to see. It's very specific. If the hero is a support unit, so that is... Well, Daisy might be a support unit as well on wind or lightning. And then you have, like I said, the golems. They're together. You have the darkness and fire. Melee, this is probably fine. Like if you have a P9 melee, probably delete this thing. And then you have the leaderboard, you have Gallant and Sector 7 and 8. It says here participate to get and then rewards. So I don't know if you can trade these in or these are just leaderboard related because they said leaderboards are for titles. So I'm hoping this is for titles, but we'll have to see. And this is where you get the the pledge function. So here you have the team formations, ally debuff. So these are the things that you can do or change, and you can select a pledge. So the boss buff could be pretty insane. Team formations could restrict how many units you use, but you can get greedy ruler armor up to 160. I'm assuming these are just the 4 pieces. Even then, like, this is going to have an insane amount of HP, insane amount of defense, so now you can actually use this for Sword and Shield Escanor. We'll have to see if this is going to be from 130 to 160, or is it 110 or whatever, from 120 to 160, like the lowest base level. If it's like from the lowest, that kind of sucks, but if it's from like here, then that looks pretty good. And then here, lower difficulty, you can still do it for the 500 star fragments. For those of you guys that want more pets, that we need more pets for the expedition, this is the loyalty pet on the shop, mining and gathering options. So I think it's because it's legendary, so you can use high rarity pets to grab lower rarity stuff. So even if you have a legendary, you don't have to get legendary items, you can send it out to get epic items. And so this is again more of the pet improvements. You have the potions not missing, so even if you miss, it's not going to use it up. Pets are here to help you gather stuff, so again, very good change. Thank you, Netmarble. I'm so happy. And then you have the medium level potions that you can craft. And for the last part, shout out to Yasol once again. Beautiful lady. Oh my goodness. Perfect cosplay as well. I don't want to hear no comments, no plastic, no bullshit. I'm about to ban you if you comment that, alright? She's pretty and I don't care. So yeah, that's everything. Let me know what you're excited for in the update. I'm also working a sheet on different characters and their builds. It's going to be on this video. I just started it, so it's going to be in my Discord. Go watch this video. I'll see you guys later, whenever. Bye-bye.